Tonight we will start on the back. Don't get too comfortable because some of our first postures will be on the back using the block under the sacrum. If that doesn't work, then you'll place the blanket, and if that doesn't work, you'll just take the prop out completely, right? So finding yourself into a comfortable position. And you might want to keep the knees bent for the breathing and the centering, especially if those hamstrings are tight, right? We haven't done any kind of warming up. And just allow the body to settle. Settling into the mat and start to focus on the breath. Right? If you're comfortable letting the eyes close, closing the eyes and checking in on the body. Right? How did you show up tonight? We are coming to the end of 2020. Right? There's this excitement about the new year. And even though we're not out of this period of darkness and whatever it is that we've been through, we've survived 10 months. Yes, right? 10 months of this, and we're still here and we're still going strong. Right? Those little miracles that sometimes we overlook. Last night, I was up at 1:30. The baby was crying. I was exhausted, feeling a little stressed, and Tony was up too. And he just came out and took me to the skylight and said, just stand here and look up. And I looked up and there was this beautiful full moon, and he held me and we both looked at the beauty of the moon together and everything started to shift. And so how often in our life, especially in these past 10 months, have we missed those small miracles? Right? Because we're so focused on something else, the fear, the unknown. Right? So let's start with that breath. Take a big, deep breath into the belly. Right? That breath right there, that alone is a miracle. And as you exhale, letting the body release, settling. And do this a few times, just feeling the expansion on the inhalation. And as you exhale, let the day roll off, right? Let the shoulders relax, let the jaw relax. Maybe even rock the head a little bit side to side to release a little tension in the neck. And then move into our 3-part Dirga breath, feeling the belly expand, right? The ribs expand, the heart lifts, there's this little arching to the back on the inhalation. And as you exhale, exhaling completely, squeeze the navel to the spine, releasing the day with the exhalation. And if you have Ujjayi breath, layering that on now, that's that slight constriction. It's a little lift of the palate, constricting the back of the throat. Sounds like the ocean. Slows the breath down, makes it audible. And as soon as we focus on the breath, the mind begins to settle. The body begins to soften. And as we prepare for class, I'd like to share a poem by Jonathan Lockwood Huey, on miracles. Our rainbows and butterflies are the small miracles of our life, the little things that are so easy to overlook, yet so awe-inspiring when we take a moment to notice and to pay attention. Give thanks for the rainbows, for the butterflies, for all the creatures large and small, for the bright blue sky and the soft fog and the gentle rain, for the tree veiled in the season's first frost, for the baby's laugh, for the touch of a hand and the whispered, I love you. Pay attention to rainbows and snowflakes, butterflies and the songs of birds, the crash of storm-driven waves, and the merest surface of a quiet pond. Let the depths of nature become a part of your innermost being. And then bringing to mind any other small miracle that maybe you encountered today, the past week. It could be a smile, a gentle touch, a loving word, just a friend who reaches out, checks up on you. And the more we focus on love, focus on gratitude, that expands. And the body expands with love. And as we move through the practice, remembering to send that same love and compassion to your body, never moving into any kind of pain or sharp sensation. And then setting an intention. What is it you would like to cultivate on your mat tonight? And can we find those small miracles in the moments? Right? Maybe just a special way the breath is moving, or a gentle twist that releases some tension, or maybe just the ability for the mind and the breath to settle down. And sealing that in with an exhalation, sending it out to the universe. And begin to sweep the arms alongside the body, bringing the fingertips overhead, palms touching. And as you exhale, sweep the arms back down. So like a sun breath, but on the back. And do this 3 times. As we inhale, let the arms reach out to the side and all the way up and overhead. And as we exhale, gently float those arms down alongside the body. And 2 more times like that. Inhale, getting really tall, maybe pointing the toes as the fingers reach overhead. And exhale, letting the toes press up towards the sky, press through the heels. 1 more time, big breath in. This time, let the arms stay above the head, interlace the fingers, slip the palms away. Big stretch, point the toes. And then on an exhale, bend the knees and bring the feet to the mat. So try and follow my voice, right? You don't have to really see unless something doesn't make sense. So we're going to take that block, set yourself up as if you were going into bridge pose, feet pressing into the mat, and take the shortest, smallest setting of the block and just lift the hips and place it on the sacrum. And then let the hips come down. So as if we were coming into a supported bridge. So the psoas muscle comes from the back and wraps all the way around to the front and attaches at the femur. It's one of those hip flexor muscles. And when this is tight, it pulls the pelvis into an anterior tilt, right? And that creates lower back pain. So make sure that block feels okay. And if it doesn't, come off the block and just place the blanket or roll the mat up a little bit, right? There should be no crunching in that lower back. And then take the right knee and hug it in towards the chest. On an exhalation, slide the left foot out and rest the heel on the mat and see how that feels. So imagine that there's a wall that we're pressing the foot against. If this is too intense a stretch, rebend the knee and place that left foot on the mat. But if you can breathe into that sensation, you'll notice that the stretch is right at the front of that left hip flexor. That's the psoas muscle. And then we're going to pull the right knee in and take a few breaths here as we make some circles with the right knee. Maybe take it side to side. Right? What would feel good? And then hug that knee into the chest. Press that left heel away and breathe into the sensation. See if you could take 2 or 3 deep breaths here. And remember to take care of yourself. If this isn't working, come down on the mat and just do a regular Pavamuttasana, right? Wind liberating pose. Another deep breath in. And on an exhalation, extend the right leg straight up, toes towards the sky, and bring the hands behind the thigh, interlace the fingers. Or if you would rather take that belt or strap and use the strap here, we're going to bend the right knee. And on an exhale, straighten the leg. And do that a couple of times. Right? Pulling the knee in and extending the leg out. And the whole time we're kicking the left heel away. And breathing. Right? Don't forget to breathe here. And the next time that the right foot reaches up towards the sky, pause here, point the toes, make little circles, releasing the ankle, circle in the other direction. And then one more time, bend that knee, pull it all the way in towards the chest. And as we exhale, let the right foot come to the mat, let the left foot come to the mat, bending the knees, maybe even lifting the hips, seeing if you could press the hips away by creating a little more length in the lower back, and then lowering back onto that block or blanket. Take a big breath in and hug the left knee in. On an exhale, the right leg extends, maybe heel down, toes up. If that's too intense, replace the foot on the floor. And breathe here as you pull the left knee in, kick through the right heel and notice the stretch in the hip flexor. And then maybe make some circles, right? Circling the left knee in one direction, circling the other way. Pulling that knee into the chest and exhale, kicking that right heel away. And breathe here. Notice the stretch on the front of that right hip. So this is a stretch we really don't access a lot. And from sitting so much, we shorten those muscles, and this is a great way to lengthen. Take a breath in, and as we exhale, take those left toes up towards the sky. Support the leg by holding either the back of the thigh or taking that strap to the ball of the foot. Take a big breath in and bring that knee in towards the shoulder, and then extend the leg up towards the sky. And do that a few times, just bending and straightening. And make sure the breath is flowing here. Continue to check in with that lower back, right? Make sure it's still okay being on the block like that. And the next time the toes reach towards the sky, pause here. Let's make little circles, circling in one direction, circle the other. Pull that leg a little bit closer in, and then rebend that knee and place that left foot down on the floor. Bring the right foot to the floor. Let those hips come up, and just for a few moments, remove the block. Bring it off to the side and slowly lower down, one vertebra at a time, and resist the temptation to pull the knees into the chest. Instead, walk the feet out as wide as the mat. Let the knees gently rest on each other, the thighs rest on each other. Take a big breath in and give yourself a hug, bringing the hands to the shoulders, maybe even finding a little rock from side to side. And then press that lower back into the mat. Let the knees come back up and walk the feet a little closer together. Take the block and squeeze it between the thighs. So here's another muscle group that's out of balance, right? We want to strengthen the inner thighs. Press the feet into the floor. So we're going to come into a bridge. Bring the, before we come into the bridge, get your strap. And bring it so that when we lift the hips, we can have that strap underneath. And then where you normally have the hands for bridge, just hold the strap between the hands, squeeze the block between the legs, lift the hips, and then pull the strap as if you're trying to pull it apart. You'll see that the shoulder blades will come towards each other, right? Keep pressing into the feet, lifting the hips up. Take a breath in and let the hips just lower a tiny bit. And as we exhale, press into the feet and lift the hips again. And find this gentle little pulsing here, lifting and lowering. So if there's only time to do one pose in a day, bridge pose, right? It's so good at strengthening all those weak muscles. One more time, lift the hips, take a breath, press the tailbone away. Right, knees are pressing away, squeezing that block, and then ever so slowly release the strap, slowly lower down. One vertebrae at a time. Take that block off to the side. Take a big breath in, and then hug those knees into the chest. Find a gentle rocking movement side to side. Take the feet and bring them all the way up towards the sky. And then take the arms and bring them all the way up towards the sky with the shoulders pressing into the floor. And then open up the arms and the legs in a nice wide V, like a starfish. And as we exhale, gently bring them back up towards the sky, and do this a few times, opening. Notice the inner thighs here, right? Squeezing the thighs, imagining we still have that block between the thighs. And the next time the arms come up and the legs come up, pause here, and then begin bending the knees and the elbows, and then almost like you're swimming, right? Start to make some movement, whatever feels good, right? Letting the knees bend, letting the arms circle, maybe circling the other way. One last time, big breath in. As we exhale, hug those knees into the chest, and your choice, either rolling to one side and pressing up, or gently rocking on the spine and bringing yourself back up to sit. I just lost my headband. So notice how the hips feel, right? A little open there. We're going to do some more work on those muscles in a little bit. So finding a seat, sitting up nice and tall. Let's sweep those arms out to the side and reach all the way up to the sky. Interlace the fingers, flip the palms away. Shoulders are down, and we're breathing. As we exhale, reach all the way towards the right. Keep pressing the left hip down. Let the gaze turn and look to the left. Inhale back to center and take it over the other way. Reach to the left, press that right hip down, and gently turn and gaze to the right. Come on back through center and let the hands come behind the head. And let the elbows rest out. And now watch the lower back, because there's a tendency to arch the lower back. I don't want you guys to arch the lower back. I want the lower back to stay like we're tucking the tail down a little bit, pressing the tailbone down, right? Just make the lift from the upper back. Imagine that we're draping our upper back over a bolster or a block, right? And lift up, let the head just rest in the hands. Take a big breath, open the elbows out to the side. As we exhale, chin to chest, elbows come towards each other and drop the head. And do this a few times with the breath. As we inhale, we lift the heart. It's like a beautiful flower. As we exhale, we round. So the lotus every morning opens to the sun, and every nighttime the petals close. One more time like that. Inhaling up, exhaling down, and come all the way up through center. One more time, release those arms up to the sky, and then let the left hand find the mat and the right arm come up and over, coming into a side stretch. As we inhale, rise up, let the hands meet first. A little different tonight, and then exhale, come up and over. Inhaling up through center, and exhaling to the other side, like just slowing it down. We'll do one more to each side, coming up, reaching right towards the left, coming through center, reaching left towards the right. Inhale to come back up, and as we exhale, let the hands meet in prayer and exhale them down to the heart. Let the thumb and the pinkies touch and separate the rest of the fingers out to the side. Padma Mudra, or the lotus flower. Bring the lotus flower to the heart. Remembering that intention as we inhale, sweep the arms up towards the sky. As we exhale, let those arms float down. And bringing the hands back to the heart. Imagine that as we come up, we're gathering all that we could possibly need. As we exhale, like a beautiful rainbow, surrounding ourselves with the breath, with the prana. One more time. Next time that the hands come up to the sky, pause here. Interlace the fingers, press the palms away into the space in front of your chin to the chest, around the spine. Inhale up, take the hands behind, tenting the fingers, pressing them into the floor. Nice length in the lower back, lift the heart and drop the head. And then come on back to center, and your choice here, you can come right to stand or come into tabletop for a downward facing dog. Right, so if down dog isn't working for you, come right to stand to the middle of the mat. Otherwise, tucking the toes, taking a breath and dropping the belly and looking up. Cow pose, exhale into cat. One more time, drop the belly, lift the gaze. And as we exhale into cat, tuck those toes and continue lifting the hips. Come into downward facing dog. Bending one knee and straightening the opposite leg, taking it to the other side, just kind of walking the legs out. Come high on the toes, bend the knees a lot, send the tailbone away. And on an exhale, let the heels go towards the floor. Don't worry if they touch or not. And then look between the hands and start to walk the feet towards the hands towards the feet, and inhale, rising up. And as we exhale, we turn towards the long side of our mat. Yay, and here we are at standing. Okay, so taking the feet nice and wide and turning the toes out and bringing the hands to the hips. Put a little bend to the knees. And then come on back up. And we're going to add some arm movement. Right, as the knees bend, the arms come down, and we inhale, rising. Beautiful, let the arms cross in front. Maybe reversing the way the arms are flowing. And the next time that the knees bend, we're going to pause here in our goddess pose. Our palms can face forward, they can face each other, right? And check out your knees, right? Weight in the heels, toes can gently lift up and then gently touch back down so we're not gripping. And if you need to straighten the legs, straighten the legs. Breathing here in goddess. On an exhalation, bring the palms to the thighs. Take a breath, nice length to the spine. And then take the left shoulder across and look over the right shoulder. Press the thighs back. Both the thighs are being pressed back by the hands. Inhale, come through center and take that to the other side. And so we're working on opening those hip flexors again. And find a little flow here, side to side. Big breath in. The next time that the left shoulder comes towards the right knee, let's find a little pulse. Inhale, coming through center. Exhale, gently twisting. And do that 2 more times. Make sure that the crown of the head is pressing away, keeping that spine nice and long. Then come all the way through center. Take it over to the other side. Right elbow, shoulder to left knee. And come up and do those little pulses. And then come on back through center and walk the feet back together and give them a little shake. So too often in class, I skip over balancing postures. So tonight I wanted to work on a little bit of balance, but I also wanted to do it in a way that's accessible and compassionate, right? Because that's what our practice is all about. Dancer's pose is a beautiful opening and stretch for the quads. Now, when we're here in the studio, my Saturday morning girls, a lot of times we do standing bow, right? We grab the inside of the foot. So dancer is holding the outside of the foot by the pinky. But what I wanted the chairs for first, before we even get there, is to just come to the chair and bring the top of the foot onto the chair. and give a little press down. And you'll feel this stretch in the quad. The hands can be on the hips. Right, breathing, because that's the sensation that we want. And then we can come to the other side. Pressing the foot down. And maybe this is where you want to be. And especially if the balance is a little challenging. Or we're going to play with our dancer. So I had said if you don't have a chair, you can use the wall, right? It's perfect. We're going to start with the right foot first. I'm going to move my chair and use my chair for balance. So no, the chair was where it needs to be. So turning, right, facing your chair or your wall, bring all the weight into the left foot and just bend the right knee, bringing the heel towards the body. Let the hand come down. If you are really far away from that foot, you may want to take that option of placing the back of the top of the foot on the chair. Right? We're just trying to stretch out the front of the quad. The knee points down. Right? We find this length in the spine. Watch the lower back. There's a tendency to really arch. We want to keep pressing the tailbone down. And make sure you have some space between the chair because we're going to come out and down. So start to kick the foot away from the butt. And you'll feel that stretch in the quad. And maybe that's enough. For some of you that want to take this a little bit further, we drop the torso down, almost parallel to the mat. Right? Lift the gaze, and then the left arm extends out, maybe. Right? Woo, or maybe not. Dancer's pose. Breathing here. Right? So balance can be challenging. Can we breathe into it? Can we be okay with any unsteadiness or falling out? And as we exhale, release down and shake out that legs. Right? Notice how that feels. That's a really good stretch. I'm going to turn my chair. You don't have to turn your chair. Let's switch to the other side. So now the weight comes into the right foot. We have the chair for balance. We're going to bend the left knee and hold by the pinky side of the foot, the outside of the foot. And if that doesn't work, you can put the foot on the chair. You can even hold the back of the pant leg. Straps are tricky in this pose because you can trip. So take a big breath. Knee is pointing down. That's our starting point. Knee points down. We're pulling the heel towards our butt. And then as we exhale, we're just kicking, kicking the heel away. Watch the lower back. Keep pressing the tailbone down so we don't overarch. And then maybe lowering the torso, almost parallel to the mat. Maybe extending right arm out. Big maybes here, right? This is a beautiful place for the wall. Being okay with any unsteadiness, any shaking, that just means the muscles are becoming stronger. Whoops. And then when we're done, coming out, shaking those legs, moving the chair, but keeping it close by for our Shavasana later. And coming back to the middle of the mat. Counter stretch for that. Bring the hands to the lower back like we're pressing our hands into pockets. Press into the feet, little bend to the knees. Bring the chin to the chest. Big breath in. As we exhale, press the hips forward, lift the heart. Shoulders down and back. As you press the hips forward, think of those muscles that we were stretching earlier when we were down on the block. Right? Same muscles here. Big breath in. Exhale, maybe have those hips come a little bit further out. And then gently rising back up. Cross the right leg over the left. Bring the arms above the head. Take a big breath in. Take the right wrist with the left hand and gently arch over, hips to the right, hands to the left. Breathing here. Big breath in. Exhale. Can you soften? Inhale to rise back up. As we exhale, start to fold forward, letting the knees bend. If the fingers are really far from the floor, finding a block or maybe pulling that chair over, and just come into a forward fold with that right leg in front. Knees are bent to relax the back of the legs, and the head drops down. As we inhale, we rise back up. As we exhale, we uncross. Just take a moment, bring the legs side by side, and sense and feel, right? What are the sensations in the body right now? Let's cross left over right. Or if that doesn't work, come into a traditional half moon pose. As we inhale, we sweep the arms overhead. This time it's the right hand that grabs the left wrist. And as we exhale, we gently press the hips to the left as we reach to the right. A little bit of a balance challenge here because we have the legs crossed. And imagine squeezing those legs into each other. The knees are soft. We're not blocking the knees. Find a little length on the inhale. As we exhale, find a little release. Coming back up through center, and on the exhalation, folding forward. Letting the head drop and breathing here. And gently rising back up and uncrossing the legs. Okay, let's take those legs out to the side. And let's let our body become comfortable in some of our familiar poses, right? Let's turn those left toes to the left, kick that right heel 45 degrees, put a little bend into that left knee, press into the pinky side of the right foot, sweep those arms out and up and find our warrior two pose. Squeeze the thighs towards each other. Come out of the waist, gaze over left fingertips. Flip the left palm as we inhale. Sweep the left fingers up and the right hand drops. Notice if the pose feels a little different, starting with hip openers. Or maybe yes, maybe no. And breathing here. Come on back through warrior two on the exhalation and straighten that front leg. Hand to the hip and reach, reach, reach through the left fingers. And just let the hand drop where it will, except the knee, right thigh, calf, shin, ankle block. Roll the right shoulder up and back. Find the length first. Breathing here and then sweep the right fingertips up towards the sky. As we exhale, can you find a little more length here? Can you soften what you can? And then use that hand to rise back up. Hands to the hips. Bring the right foot a little bit closer and turn towards the short left end of the mat. Press the feet into the mat. Bring the arms up, bend the elbows, find goddess arms, and bend into that front leg. So warrior one with goddess arms, and then take the tailbone and press it down. So you're taking a little bit of curve out of the lower back and lifting up through the heart. As we inhale, we straighten the leg and straighten the arms. As we exhale, we bend to goddess and bend the knee to warrior. 2 more times like that. Pulsing with the breath. Make sure that knee never crosses the ankle. Keeping the body safe. And then straightening the legs, arms reach up. Keep the legs straight. Exhale, hands come down. Interlace fingers, stargazer. Shoulders down and back. Imagine we still have that strap between our hands like we did in bridge earlier. And we're pulling it apart, creating that sensation in the shoulders. Breathing here. If it feels good, interlace the fingers behind the head and support the head. Just a little different. Then inhale to rise up. Bring the hands to the hips. Turn towards the front. Sweep the arms above the head. Big breath in. As we exhale, take a forward fold. Find a half lift, lengthen, look up. And exhale, come on back down. Sweep those arms as we rise. Exhale, arms T position, step the right foot to the right, kick the left heel back, make sure it's a big enough step, and then bend into that right knee, finding warrior two, reaching to the left, reaching to the right, gaze over, right fingertips. Flip the right palm, inhale, right fingers up, left hand drops down. Peaceful warrior. Exhale, back through warrior two. Straighten the front leg, hands to the hips, reach through the right fingers, and extend out. On the exhale, let the hand find support, thigh, calf, shin, block. Roll the left shoulder up and back, and then inhale, left fingers to the sky. Triangle pose. Or keep the hand on the hip or the lower back, maybe fingertips to the shoulders. Right, notice if your face just scrunched up. If it did, it means you need to modify. Use that lifted hand to bring you back up, hands to hips, and scooch that back leg in a little bit closer, turn towards the short end of the mat. Bending into that front knee, sweep the arms up and bend the elbows, finding warrior arms. Goddess arms, warrior. One pose. Inhale, straighten the legs and reach. Exhale, bend the elbows, bend the knee. I'm working on very little sleep today. Find this little pulsing as we lengthen and then bend. Breath and sensation. Body moving. Right, where is your focus? Holding in our warrior pose, lift the heart. And then one more time, extend the leg, extend the arms, keep the legs straight and let those arms come down and find stargazer. Shoulders down and back, lift the heart. Take that curve out of the lower back by taking the tailbone and pressing it towards the floor. Stay here or maybe take that option to cradle the head in the hands, giving a little support for the neck, opening the heart, opening the chest, and breathing. Big breath in. And then coming back up and stepping the feet together, giving them a little shake. Let's come to our chair for another balancing pose. So this is going to be a warrior three balance. If you prefer to take warrior three without the support, go for it. Otherwise, just having the chair close by. Bring the fingertips to the chair and step the feet back, letting the hips drop, finding a chair version of downward facing dog. So if you were in down dog on the mat before, familiar stretch, not so much pressure on the wrists and the shoulders. We're going to find that half lift and look up over the chair and come on back down. Then come on up, walk a little bit closer. Press the right foot into the mat and just take the left leg and bring it up behind us. So you want the torso to be parallel towards the mat, and you can walk the hands to the seat. They can be on that high part. And so it's the left foot pressing back. Stay here holding the chair for support, or take those right fingers and reach them forward. So it's that opposite hand and leg reaching. If you want to play with the full warrior three, right, make sure that you're steady and you have some support. Maybe lift both arms off the chair. Whoops, or maybe not. Right, so what's working for you tonight? On an exhalation, letting the hand come down. If it's out, letting the foot come down. Come on back up just for a moment. Bring the hands to the back, bend the knees, and find that beautiful stretch, pressing the hips forward, lifting the heart. And then exhale, hands to the chair and step back. Find that down dog version. Let's come on back up and press into the left foot and let that right leg come up. And you'll notice one side is steadier than the other, right? One is stronger. Staying here, just pressing the foot, the toes, or the heel away, working on that balance in the standing leg. or letting the left arm extend out as we reach the right foot back. Breathing here. And if you want to play with the full warrior three, letting both arms up and extending out, right? Maybe just knowing that chair is there in front of you makes it more accessible. And as we exhale, let's lower down. One more time, just shaking out the legs, maybe grab a sip. We're gonna come down, back down to the mat. Finding a seat. Bringing the legs out in front. And just bringing that right knee in. Sitting up nice and tall. Keeping the foot exactly where it is or stepping it over the left. Bring the right hand behind, sweep the left arm up towards the sky. And as we exhale, gently start to turn the body towards the right and inhale back to center. And do that 2 more times, preparing for a twist. Next time we come across the body, hug the knee with the elbow or the hand, press the belly button into the right thigh, shoulders down and back, lift the gaze, and take a breath here in our twist. Big breath in, find the length on the spine on the inhale. On the exhalation, exhale completely and notice if the body will just soften into that twist. Relax the shoulders, relax the face, and gently unwind. Let's take the palms towards the left and take a counter stretch. Coming down. Inhale back up and let's switch. Left knee, hugging it in, sitting up nice and tall. Keeping the foot exactly where it is or stepping it over that right thigh. Left hand comes behind, propping us up like a kickstand. Inhale, right arm reaches to the sky. As we exhale, we gently turn towards the left. As we inhale, we unwind back through center. Beautiful. And 2 more times like that. So like we're wringing out a washcloth. Right, next time that right arm crosses through center, either hug the knee with the crook of the elbow, maybe use the palm of the hand. You can always take the elbow to the outside if that doesn't jam the shoulders, right? For someone who has a deeper twist. And then use the breath. Inhale, lengthen up. And as we exhale, squeeze the belly in. And turn towards the left side. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, let the shoulders relax. Let the face relax. Right, wringing out the spine from the base. Gently unwinding through center. Take the palms to the right. Let the head drop down. Come on back up. And then just bend the knees and drop them towards the right side. We're going to take those legs at 45-degree angle and bring the hands on either side of that right knee. Find the length in the spine. And as you exhale, let the elbows come out to the side and gently extend over the right leg, coming down. And inhale to press back up and do that 2 more times. So engaging the biceps and the triceps here, and also getting that nice little stretch in the hip flexor of the left leg. Next time we come down over the right, keep walking the hands out. Just let the head drop down. A gentle version of pigeon pose. If your body is calling for a traditional pigeon, scooch that right knee over to the right side and let the left leg extend back and take a traditional pigeon. Otherwise, stay with the gentler version. Whichever version you're in, use the breath. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Bring the palms under the shoulders, gently press up. Let that right hip come down to the mat. And bring the legs back out in front. Give them a little shake. Then bend the knees and bring them over to the left. Find those angles, 45-degree angle. Press the palms, one on either side of the left knee. And let the elbows bend out to the side as we lengthen the spine and fold over and then press back up. Do that 2 more times. Find a nice long spine. And on the next exhale, extend all the way out, letting the head drop. And remembering if your body is craving the traditional pigeon pose, move that left knee to the left, extend the right leg, and just come into your version of pigeon. Breathing here. Big breath in, with every exhalation, letting it go. Begin to slide the palms under the shoulders and press yourself up. Let the hips come back to the mat, bring the legs out in front and give them a little shake. And now find your props, your blankets, eye pillows. Maybe you want to put your socks back on. We're going to come into a restorative pose using the chair. It's a version of legs up the wall. So chair, bolster, whatever you have close by, bench. But you want to have the knees, right? If you could just peek up here. You want to have the body at these right angles so that the lower back is pressing down into the mat. We want to get rid of that big curve that we have, right? And then set yourself up for a nice long shavasana with this legs up the wall version. Taking eye pillows, blankets. Oh, take this one on. If you're comfortable, let the eyes close. And see how the lower back feels. It's squeezing the belly button back to the spine. Make those adjustments. If you have something to block out the light, a scarf, maybe even that strap. And a little bit of weight on the belly is really nice. So it could be a block, it could be a blanket, a pillow. Gives you a grounding sensation. And then let everything go. And then if the legs up on the chair doesn't feel right, then find another pose that works for your body. Right? I'm only here for suggestions. And sometimes they don't work for you. And once you're comfortable, let your focus go back to the breath. The inhale and the exhale. The expansion and that sweet surrender. Like a beautiful wave washing over the body. Connect with that rhythm of the breath and let the breath become the meditation. Feeling the breath as it moves through the body. Right, this small miracle right here. We never give a thought to our breath. It's the very first thing that greets us when we enter this physical body and the very last thing to leave us. And our prana, our life force, rides on the breath. So I want you to imagine a beautiful golden light. And as you inhale, you can bring that light right into the heart space. And as you exhale, you can send that light out to every cell in the body. Inhalation, that light becomes brighter. Exhalation, the light spreads until the body is enveloped in this beautiful cocoon of loving, healing energy, held, supported, safe, and loved. And in this safe space, held and supported, allow the body to relax and let go just a little bit more. Feel the corners of the eyes begin to soften. Feel the eyelids release. Feel the eyes resting in their sockets. Relax the cheekbones, the nostrils, the lips, the tongue, and the jaw. Relax the space between the eyebrows and the forehead. And release any expression from the face. And let that relaxation flow to the temples and the scalp and the back of the head, to the back of the neck and the sides of the neck and the throat. Relaxing shoulders and shoulder blades, upper arms, right from the shoulders to the elbows, from the elbows to the wrists. Relaxing upper and lower arms, wrists, palms, back of the hands, and all 10 fingers. And then bringing our awareness to the chest, becoming so quiet that maybe we can sense our heartbeat, that miraculous heart. And relaxing the chest and the space around the heart, the upper back, the middle back and the waist, the sides of the torso, the lower back and the belly. And bringing your attention to the seat muscles, the pelvis, and the place where the thighs enter the hips. And relaxing the hips, the hip sockets, the inner thighs, the outer thighs, the back of the leg, the hamstrings, and the front of the upper leg, the quadriceps. Just let them become heavy. Relax the kneecaps and behind the knees, the calves and the shins, the ankles, the feet, the soles of the feet, the arches, the top of the foot, and all 10 toes. And just for a few moments, absolutely nothing to do except breathe. In the body, breathing the breath breathing the body. Resting, accepting. Everything we need is right there in that next breath. Anything that no longer serves us is released with that next exhalation. And as that beautiful light and prana circulates in the body, send that light to any areas in need of healing. And imagine this light dissolving the pain the way the sunlight dissolves the fog. Remembering that our body holds on to emotional pain as well as physical trauma. So whatever it is, allowing that light to shine. And just imagining that pain disappearing. Pay attention to rainbows and snowflakes, butterflies and the songs of birds, the crash of storm-driven waves, and the mirror surface of a quiet pond. Let the depths of nature become a part of your innermost being. And adding to that any other image of your small miracles, the kindnesses that you've received, the support from a loved one or a friend, whatever it is that has carried us through these 10 months, that will continue to carry us through into the new year. Like greeting this new year with hope, anticipation, and acceptance. And begin to deepen the breath, bringing your awareness back to the physical body, to the space and the room, and gently pressing away from the chair. And you may want to hug those knees into the chest for a little bit. You may want to extend the legs up towards the sky. See what the body is craving before rolling into that side resting fetal position. Let's see if the body needs a little bit of movement coming out of that restorative pose. We held that for 10 minutes. Inversions are very healing for the body. And that one especially helps with the lower back. And then finding your way into a side resting pose and just scanning the body, noticing the breath, the thoughts in the mind, and if something shifted. And whenever you're ready, gently pressing up to a comfortable seat and letting the palms come to the heart center, and bowing the head to the heart. With a breath of gratitude for this Sangha, for this practice, for this yoga that has kept us strong and carried us through. Gratitude for showing up and continuing to show up, taking that time to come to the mat, to be curious, to move, to stretch, to breathe. And tonight I'd like to end class with an Om. So if you guys want to unmute so we can all Om together, and if you do not want to Om, you can just sit in the vibration of Om, right? The vibration of creation. Everything is optional, right? Let's take the arms out to the side. Take a big breath in. Let the hands meet in prayer, and on the exhalation, let that mouth open and Beautiful. Shanti, Shanti, peace. Peace in your heart, peace in your travels. And in the Kripalu tradition, we say Jai. Jai Bhagwan, victory to the spirit. Namaste, guys.